Good morning. Welcome to another Weege Show brought to you by the fine folks at Racetech and their gold valves. You know all about their suspension, which will make your bike perform better. Plusher, better bottoming resistance, more traction, made it in the USA. Go to racetech.com for more. Jason Weigandt here at the Monster Energy AMA Amateur National Motocross Championship at Loretta Lynn's. I call it Motocross Town. I'm in a beautiful cabin, in a beautiful campground. Highly underrated is the fact that this event takes place in an actual campground, which means it has amenities available beyond the typical racetrack. Let me make sure my camera's clean here. But we talk so much about the racing and the track because for 1 week a year, this place becomes Motocross Town. And your alarm in the morning is someone waking up, warming up their bike, and that wakes you up. And then you hear Coal Miner's Daughter at 7 a.m. playing over the radio speakers. And then we get into a national anthem. And the best part of all is non-stop gate drops. You can practically set your watch to them. Did you hear that? A Friday morning of racing is underway here in Tennessee. Yep, Motocross Town. Everything you do, you eat, you sleep, you breathe, moto. I've got my cool cabin here. There's this beautiful campground behind me there. Heck, if you wanted to take your morning commute, this is my rental car, by the way, we can listen to a little drive time morning radio. And what's on that radio? Well, the announcers announcing the motos. And every conversation you have here is about motocross, and everything you do and see here is about motocross. It's pretty awesome. Let's see who got the whole shot.
Going on back there into Storyland, that number 41 Yamaha putting the hammer down, already coming back through the waterworks toward the front of this track.
Nick Romano on the Yamahas, Chance Hymas, Jet Reynolds on the Kawasaki. Yep, your morning commute. You're not listening to some not really funny, crazy AM guys. No, we get to listen to motocross. So take a walk with me, though. I'm not gonna drive today because why not take in the sights and sounds while this spectacular Schoolboy 2 moto is out on track. And by the way, Jet Reynolds, in his comeback to the ranch, was trying desperately to win a moto yesterday. He was in a huge battle with LeBlanc. Reynolds had the early lead. LeBlanc was actually able to track him down. Reynolds was making a lot of mistakes. Looked like LeBlanc was going to get away. Then Reynolds ratcheted the pace back up and passed LeBlanc back, but he was still making mistakes. And then he had a huge one in the 10 Commandments. I mean, a huge one. Weege Show fans over there. Endoed hard. That's going to scratch him from contention in that 250B class. But battered and bruised, he's back out here this morning to race Schoolboy 2. Maybe by the end of this video, I'll know exactly how he's doing. But it's not just about the results here when you're in Motocross Town. It's very hard for people that aren't here to wrap their heads around why people would put in this kind of effort and buy these kind of rigs. And I can't even tell you how many of them there are here. This is just one of several campgrounds. We're up to like 7 of these campgrounds or something like that now. But I can't explain enough that this sport is small. So when we talk about people going motocross racing, Loretta's, gave me the heads up, always enters our vocabulary. And it's maybe a little unrealistic. Remember, when people play Little League at home or play on their school basketball team, they don't immediately think, oh, well, are you going to compete for the national championship this year? We don't measure every athlete in every sport based on, are you going to be in the national championship, where they only take 42 riders, or athletes in that case, in your respective division. This sport is very top heavy, as in, if you don't compete for the national championship, are you really anything? That's ridiculous. You would never even consider that in other sports. Tons of people play soccer and maybe they compete on their little local team. They don't think, if I'm not ranked in the top 40 nationally in my age group, maybe I'm not that good of a soccer player. So you have to understand the level of extra ambition and pull, there's more huge campers and motorhomes, that this sport has. And when you're at this level, you have to remember, we cannot use this event, Loretta Lynn's, as this is what it's normally supposed to be. If you were to go to the national championship level event in any sport, you're going to see parents and athletes going well above and beyond what would probably be considered rational, because they're at the very tip of the spear. And that's the case. with Loretta's. That's what this event is supposed to be. Even the date and the setting of this event was based around trying to have some semblance of normalcy. The idea back in 39 years ago, 1982, was that this event takes place in the summer, so you don't have to go to homeschool to be able to compete here. Top of the morning, fellas.
Good morning.
You just race your local track all year. You race locally all weekend. You don't have to drop out of school. You don't even need to own a motorhome. And then you do an area qualifier, a regional qualifier, which are generally, again, in your area and region. And then during summer, when school's out, you come and compete for the national championship. Now, what you can't do in any sport is contain the ambition and the competitiveness of the people. So that's the way it turns out. We've evolved this over 39 years, and people started opening up training facilities, and more people started homeschooling, and factories started getting involved at the amateur level. And essentially now we have riders who are on track like Romano and LeBlanc. They're on Monster Energy Star Racing Yamahas just like Justin Cooper and Shane McElrath, and they ride with Justin Cooper and Shane McElrath every single day. This is prime real estate. You get dudes like Jordan Bailey who just want to come back to Loretta's because this is what they do, bro. It's Loretta's. Yes. We build an entire lifestyle around this race. That wasn't originally what everyone knew was going to happen, but these are competitive people. This is the tip of the spear. These are type A personalities. This is the national championship. So you can't stop people from spending money, going to training facilities, buying better bikes. You can't stop factories from saying, if we invest in our 14-year-old and have him train with Alden Baker or Gareth Swanepoel now, he's going to be better later when he's a pro. When you're at the tip of the spear, people are going to push the competitive thing to the very nth degree. That's what this event is. It just gets very difficult when we start measuring the entire sport on its amateur national championship. And I think that's one of the problems that we've run into. Everyone is so competitive. Everyone ranks themselves so much based on this race and what's the chance that I could be a professional in Monster Energy Supercross or Lucas Oil Pro Motocross someday. And we kind of lose sight that the original goal is supposed to be, you can just race your local races. You can just ride a dirt bike for fun. The idea that you have to win Loretta's or be top 40 nationally, that's the true measure if you're a good motocross rider or not. I think that's kind of been lost in a way, because now what happens is, as we know, people spend most of the year just riding at a facility to prepare for this race and a couple other big ones, and they don't even do their local races, when in most sports, yeah, you guys stoked? All right. Last day. The only good thing under the surface, I can throw this in, when you come out here, you guys having fun? All right. And maybe a little tired. Is that all that competitiveness and the big motorhomes and the training facilities and the amount of money that the dads and moms are spending to try to make this happen, and the efforts that the factories are putting in to make this happen. What's up? When you actually hang out in this campground, people are having a lot of fun here at Motocross Town. When the racing is over around 7 o'clock and everybody's setting up and having dinner, it's really a good time. And although we all have these stories of the gnarly mini bike dads, you'd be surprised how chill everybody is. Because they're doing what they love, man. They're hanging out at the dirt bike races. And so much. How you doing? Good? Huh?
You headed down?
You going this way? Yeah, seriously. You know why? This video is almost 10 minutes now, and you're going to help cut down on the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad to help.
Well, that is providing a golf cart can go downhill faster than I can run. Could be close. We're good.
Not so great.
No, suspension's not so good. You need race tech gold valves. So why are you here? Who are you here with? Are you racing? You got a racer? How does it work?
My son was here as an alternate. We didn't get in, but his name is Mason Kelly.
Okay.
007. And we're checking it out. You know, we're going to really try again next year.
All right.
And, you know, we're just enjoying the week.
That's what I wanted to know. So you didn't get in, but you're not like crying and super bummed. Are you still having fun?
Oh, no, absolutely. Absolutely. We love coming here. And,
Going across? Yeah, we'll go across.
So, where would you like to go?
Hang a left if you can. And I'll eventually got to get to the tower. So you're still having fun, because what I think people miss is there's just a big hangout going on here.
Absolutely.
It's not just racing all the time.
Right.
It is racing, but you can have fun. Here, park it here. I'm going to go on the other side of the space. Perfect. All right, Mason Kelly. Did you say
Mason Kelly.
007?
007.
Whoa. Has he got like smoke screens or oil slicks or anything?
No,
Okay.
just missiles.
Missiles, yeah. All right, next year those will work for you.
For sure. Nice to meet you.
Hey,
man.
thanks for the ride. That is awesome. You see what I'm saying? These guys didn't even make it and they're having fun. So that's the hidden side. We all know that this event has gone out of control. I don't want to quite go jump the shark level, but the level of ambition and competition and riding skill and talent and speed. We had Kevin Windham up in our announcer's tower yesterday. Windham once won 18 straight motos here. It's Canyon Richards' dad. Okay, now Windham once won 18 straight motos here at Loretta's through his final 3 years. He swept every moto 3 years in a row, went from a big Kawasaki Team Green ride to a factory Yamaha ride as a pro. Windham was as good and as high profile as you could possibly be in this race. He was not an unknown, he was not an underdog. And he joked about how his training program was just eating junk food and riding every once in a while and doing the local races and kind of doing whatever mom and dad said. He didn't have a trainer or a coach or a facility. He just rode locally and then showed up at Loretta's and won. And he was amazed when he was watching the Super Mini class and Ryder DeFrancesco was probably jumping 120 feet into the flat. Something that I don't think most Supercross riders, like only the elite of the elite, would do a move like that. Windham was blown away. Ricky Carmichael was in the booth with us. He comes up every year. He's always blown away that the level of talent and ambition and drive and desire is so much higher than it was when he was here. And again, Ricky Carmichael was as good as it gets at Loretta's, just like Windham. You can't stop competition. You can't make people spend less money on racing. You can't stop people from trying harder, training harder, wanting it more. That literally is what competition is. However, deep around that, beside that, when you go out to those campgrounds like I was, it's just people hanging out and barbecuing. And we sometimes make the joke that it's a camp, it's a barbecue, it's a hangout where a race happened to break out. And when you get to this part, it's very serious. That's Ryan Holiday of Team Green watching Jaimes and Reynolds. The announcer's tower here, I'll show you in a second. Nate Thrasher in the lead with Reynolds right behind him, so it's all on the line, and these are all future pros and current factory riders. I understand the level of ambition at this level when you're at the tip of the spear and you're trying to become a professional in the sport, and we're ranking everyone based on how good they'll be in a 250 Supercross race in 2 or 3 years. That's what goes on out here, that's what we talk about, that's what the focus is, and that's what people are spending all the money on. But honestly, when you go around these campgrounds, which are back there and back behind me and all around this place, in between your motos, on your days off, early in the morning, late at night, people are just hanging out and having a good time. It seems really serious because we always talk about the racing. You'd be surprised if you hung out here how much fun you'd have and how relaxed it actually is, except for those 20 minutes when you're out on the track. You can't take competitiveness out of competitive people at a competitive event. It's kind of crazy that we do it this way, that we think of all dirt bike riders based on were they able to qualify for and maybe win the national championship in their age group. We do not do in other sports. Can't control people being competitive. It still is really fun out here. But I gotta stop this video because I want to see what happens between Reynolds and Thrasher, because at this tip of the spear, competition's kind of fun too.